the rhythm when I catch it, when I get it. If I get it, bring it back and back with decision. Decision, while we switching, when we switching with the motion. Motion, get it over when we're coasting. Hands high to the sky, fly. Fly from the 2-5, I'm getting ride. Ride when I'm on the track. Don't forget this. You're now rocking live directly to Wickids. The Wickids, we the dopest in the game to do it. Everybody acting smart, but they really stupid. And if they ain't, then they looking, catching they looping. Get it looping, they looping, they tripping, Get it wicked, the wicked, get it Get it looking high in the high sky now. And even when the sun goes down, we still rise now. Fly now, like fly like an eagle into the sea. Wanna fly like an eagle. Let your spirit.
Hey, we're back. It's your half-ass reporter, James Kalm, the guy on the bike. Special shout out to our viewers in Warsaw, Christchurch, New Zealand, and Montreal. It's about 20 minutes before closing time, but we're going to try to run here to David Zwirner and get some pictures of an exhibition by Neo Rauch. I remember first coming across Neo Rauch, I guess in the late 90s, when I was in Europe for an exhibition in Berlin and the Michael Zürcher Gallery. And as part of that trip, I went down to visit some friends in Munich, and I went to the Haus der Kunst. I believe they're having an Ed Ruscha show that I wanted to see. And, well, half of the museum was divided up for a Neo Rauch show. He was the kind of the enfant terrible at the time, the young superstar, and was getting an incredible amount of attention. This is Die Klasse 2021 oil on linen. It's 15 by 23. And since 2001 or so, I've been keeping an eye on Neo. I think David had a gallery in Soho for a while, and I popped in and saw one of his early shows there. This is actually kind of interesting. You know, Neo is an extraordinarily accomplished draftsperson, and well, you could admire him just for that. There are a couple of interesting side notes. Okay, this is titled The Auftrag 2021. This is oil and linen 15 by 23. Well, Neo grew up in East Germany and studied at, I think they call it the Leipzig Academy. He was part of the what became known as the Leipzig School. And, well, that was a kind of a showcase for the Soviet socialist versions of art education, and one of the things that the people at the Leipzig Academy tried to do was to maintain a close relationship to traditional classic European painting. So they didn't get caught up in a bunch of performance art and conceptualism and process art and all that other stuff. They definitely trained everybody in how to be a good painter, how to use perspective, how to mix your paints, all those things. And, well, Neo was probably one of the better examples of the well-trained academic painter from that institution. It's titled The Austoss 2021. This is a big painting. This is 98 by 79. So I think one of the interesting things about Neo Rauch is that he actually was able to, even before the wall came down, he was kind of exploiting certain aspects of, I guess, what would be considered socialist realism. And, well, I guess like any other culture, you're in a country like East Germany, and there's a set of shared references. It could be advertising, could be from their TV programs, the history that was taught, the ideology of the structure of the society. Okay, so this one is also 98 by 79 inches. Anyway, he was able to kind of parody or use those kinds of images, a lot of the kind of Eastern propaganda techniques in kind of satirical ways. I like this piece. Das Wacken, maybe it's Das Wanken, 2021. It's 15 by 15. Well, also I think that probably in the last 20 years or so that Neo's painting has become even more classical. A lot of the pieces that I remember seeing were kind of very much keyed towards certain kinds of color things, almost like propaganda posters or something. And, well, he kind of has gone to an even more classical version of that. See if we can get the title on this. Der Orden, 2021. It's like the order. And I think that, well, one of the things that happened is that rather than having kind of a overtly pop art approach to the subject, he's getting into more of a surrealistic end of things. And also, one of the things I enjoy is that he uses a lot of references to kind of, at least for an American, what would be kind of obscure German historic things. And, well, Germany's had a very, very complex history culturally and politically. Okay, so yes, we've got the lady's head on top of the serpent. We've got this guy over here that is being awarded a medal. Looks like the Tyrolean maids. Or, okay, they better building a house of cards. And I like his use of the maroon lines to lay out his figures with. I think the other thing that I always enjoyed about a lot of Neo's work is that there's always kind of, I was talking about the kind of parroting or satirizing socialist propaganda, there's always, or at least not always, but a lot of times, there's some kinds of odd references to painters and the practice of painting and kind of the bizarre alchemical thing that you do when you're painting. Okay, we can see that little figure there with the brown shirt. What does that refer to? Holding a flag? Das Reis, 2021, oil on linen, 98 by 118. So that's 8 by 11 feet, something like that. And gosh, as I said, I've been watching Neo's painting for 20 some odd years, and one of the things that kind of, well, that I noticed was that a lot of his early painting where he was painting on what looked like muslin, very fine, very light cotton fabric, and I always looked at that and thought to myself, gosh, if you got paintings like that and people are paying many hundreds of thousands of dollars for them, you should at least be able to get some nice linen. Der Zweispalt, 2021. Okay, so this is the biggest piece in the show. This is 118 by 197. We saw a little painting out in front that had these sign arrows, directional arrows. Here we've got someone, I don't know what that is, the local highway designer who's got his, it's like a little tray of watercolors and his arrow signs, multicolored. And then what are these guys doing? Sweeping up fire? Okay, I like that. So he's using this kind of slithering, snake-like shape. Sometimes they're part of a serpent, sometimes they're a root. Has a kind of erotic note, sinister note. Anyway, there are very few people I know that could actually carry off a painting this size and make it work. When Neo does it, I guess you could probably go back in the files a couple of years and check out an exhibition that he had at the Drawing Center of his drawings, which is really great because you do get a chance to see what a talented kind of natural draftsperson he is. I'm also thinking that it's mentioning the fact that a lot of his earlier paintings were on very light muslin, and as a result of that, a lot of the painting was more like very light, almost washes of oil and turp. And I would say probably some of the paintings that he's been doing in the last 8 or 10 years, he's getting into a more rich, built-up, oil painting surface. Also, well, it's interesting to see the way that a lot of his lines are near the very clean canvas, so there's almost a sense that he was painting in the backgrounds around the figures and kind of leaving a little margin of bare canvas. Let's see if we can see some of that. And I was mentioning his kind of joking parodies of various kind of German art historical things. I think there's a whole kind of buried narrative that's dealing with a lot of German idealism. And there are a whole bunch of German painters that were kind of associated with the Art Nouveau. It's Franz von Stuck. Another fabulous artist, I believe his name was Hans von Mare. These are like unknown painters, other than the Nazarenes, whole school of German painters that moved down to Rome, I believe, and moved into some abbey and kind of lived a reclusive, almost semi-religious lifestyle down there. Again, we got our little drips and splatters. I was saying, in a certain way, Neo is very much an academic painter, but the good thing about that is that he's almost playing at that, and underneath it, he's still kind of a German expressionist with the loose, drippy paint things and the scratchy surface, the dry surfaces. Okay, this is interesting. We got the little rhino head character here. I wonder what those balls are. Those balls of yarn with the knitting needle sticking out? I don't know. I read a quote that Jerry Saltz posted on his Instagram today. It was from Neo Rauch saying something to the effect of, "A painter should not be afraid of entering the realm of kitsch." And, okay. I was actually part of a little movement in the East Village in the 80s that was called Kitsch art, but that was a little different than the European version. I think the East Village version was much more decorative in dealing with shiny, pretty objects. Rhonda Zwirner was one of the people. Arch Conley. Okay. This is the Die Grundig 2021, 118 by 95 inches. Well, I always look at these and kind of wonder what is the narrative, and oh gosh, never seen his signature before. I think I read something where he says he makes the paintings and then he sits back and waits for his friends and critics to sort of decide what the narrative is. Okay, I like also the some of the compositional things that Neo was doing. I was going to say also that some of his previous shows, he really uses the device of multi-perspectival points of view. So you would have parts of landscapes or various still life things that would kind of be fading into one perspective point, vanishing point, and then that would be juxtaposed against a couple of other things that were fading out towards another vanishing point. And I think some of these are more simple, like straight ahead surrealistic landscapes. A lot of lights and darks, I like that. Unterm Dach, 2021. It's also 98 by 118 inches. Well, again, we've got a very interesting narrative somehow happening here. The fishmonger lady. This guy here with his headphones on makes me think of some scenes from a great movie called Other People's Lives, about life in East Berlin, I guess in the 60s and 70s. I'm saying these shots of turquoise are pretty punchy, and well, he's using kind of a shade of maroon as the base color for a lot of this. Okay, so what is that? It's like some kind of a little model of a townscape or a factoryscape. It's like Bauhaus design industrial buildings. And then we've got this kind of odd dragon. Oh, it looks like the back of somebody in a coat of armor. But he's wearing Converse All-Star sneakers. And we got this guy. It's like the local blacksmith, maybe. Or maybe that's your Teutonic warrior. I don't know. So I was going to say that in some of these pieces, the cloudscapes and the scenes are pretty nice, pretty beautifully painted. James Kalm, taking a look at Neo Rauch, the Signpost, here at David Zwirner. You know what to do. Post it at all your social media sites. You can leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. And you can subscribe. Just as long as you say, thank you, Kate.
I'm gonna fly like an eagle. Let my spirit carry me. Come on.
All right, beautiful, thank you. Thank you, Wickids. Nice.
Shout out to Santiago, appreciate you, brother.